First service today in Dyno. Hail the blue sky, let the blue sky come on through. Let's get on the bike, head out there to Fraser's, this time at Concord.
One thing I've noticed I wanted to talk about is I've noticed after time the note or the sound of the motorcycle changes. It does deepen. Have you guys found the same thing? Maybe let me know in the comments, or is it just me? Am I going crazy? I just thought, you know, whenever I put a new set of pipes on a bike, you do the first 1,000 Ks, maybe get the first service done. I've noticed that the note or the sound does change. It gets deeper. It does sound better after time once I think the pipe beds in, or the headers bed in. I don't know. But that's just my experience. Like, even this bike's now on about nearly 1,300 kilometres, and it sounds different now when I start it up compared to when I first picked the bike up. Definitely does. You know, so I don't know, and that's for the better. So there you go.
Behind me here we've got the bike being dynoed. Very, very exciting. Trouble is trying to see it through the glass. They've got the glass window here, double pane glass, obviously to block out the sound and all that sort of stuff. Being double panes, obviously quite challenging. We're getting a lot of reflection. We'll come back and try and take another look. Guys are going through all the computer readouts and bikes plugged in. First service has been done. So waiting for Pat, the master tech. That's the guy who built the bike, which is really exciting. The guy that's built the bike's done the first service and also the dyno tune here at Fraser's at Concord. Massive dealership, this one. Buying bikes off these guys for about 15 years now, so changed a lot since the early days, but still an amazing dealership.
Whoa! The first service is done, and yeah, don't know what else to say. Very, very happy. Power out of this puppy now. Look out, baby. Interestingly enough, I got the dyno report, because I know you guys are going to ask what was the horsepower and all that sort of stuff. Very interesting. I thought it'd be a bit more. It came in at 124 horsepower off the dyno jet. You know, I asked Pat, the master tech that did the build on the bike, who actually did the dyno tune as well, and he said to me, the greatest of respect, the numbers mean little. It depends on, you know, the gearing, that's the way it's tuned with the gearing. I'm not a mechanic, but what he was saying made sense. Power is applied at many different parts through the gear, you know, etc., etc., which that part it seemed to resonate with me. I wanted a nice powerful 131, which I've absolutely got. This is by miles the fastest, quickest, most powerful Harley I have ever owned. It's a very enjoyable motor, 100%. Just having that power straight on tap. As soon as you touch that throttle, bang, off it goes. Very, very enjoyable. Just getting hit with rain. Love this rain. Like up to the point where I'm getting violent about it. It's really annoying. Like it could not rain for the next 2 years and I'd be happy about that. Go away. Having that, turn the throttle, and it's just power on tap. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I've got to be careful I don't chew my license off with this new motor. That's one thing I've got to be careful of. Turn it, and on it goes. You can see the bike there, the power, very happy after that service, and the dyno, amazing. Interesting, I just want to drill into that lowdown that I put on the screen a little bit earlier. Let's have a look at some of these numbers. So, you know, the standard 107, this is the Milwaukee range engine, right? So not the twin cams, the Milwaukees. The 107 stock, 81 horsepower. We go to a 114, we go to about 86 horsepower, a gain of around about 5 horsepower. These are all stock off the shelf, straight out of Harley-Davidson. The 117 that comes on the CVOs and now the ST models, 93.75 horsepower stock. You run a stage 2 like I had in mind with the SNS 475 cam, we pulled 104 horsepower out of that. So that was with the stage 2 475 SNS cam. The upgrade then to, so let's just shape that. The 117 stock to the stage 2, we're jumping around about 11 horsepower, 10.5 to 11 horsepower for a stage 2, which is quite good. It's about a 10% power jump. We then go to a 131, which is the kit that's in this guy, and we hit 123.75 horsepower. So let's call it 124 for the better number. So again, we've got a leap of about 20 horsepower over the 117 stage 2. So very, very interesting data to have a look at, guys. This is all stuff that I've been able to obtain off the net. You guys can check it out yourselves from pretty reliable sources on the web, right? So if we have a look at the breakdown, 107 to 114, we gain 5 horsepower in that motor. We go from a 114 to a 117, we gain about 7 to 8 horsepower. This is straight off the shelf. You go and do the stage 2 on a 117, you're buying about 10 to 11 horsepower roughly. 131, we jump a further 20 horsepower. So if we look at the 117, this, which is what came on this bike, stock, the ST, 93.75. So with the 131 kit, I've taken this bike from 93.75 horsepower to 123.75 horsepower. That's 30 horsepower. Here's the math, and it all comes down to where you're comfortable and what you can afford to do. Obviously, we've got to do things within our budgets, right? So here's the mathematics. The stage 2, if you've never done one, is around about 2.5 grand with labor, roughly, give or take. I don't want to speak on behalf of all the mechanics out there, but around about 2.5 grand, give or take, is your stage 2. We jump up to this guy and the kit's probably about 7 grand, right? 6 to 7 grand. It depends on who's doing it for you, the labour costs, all that sort of stuff too. I'm not going to get into that part of it, but 6 to 7 grand, okay? The crate motor is about 10 or 11 to buy the crate engine, right? But if you've got the 114, the 117, you don't need it, you can buy the kit and you'll end up with this. So for 2.5 grand, we're at 104. For another 4.5 grand, 5 grand, we gain a further 20 horsepower. So for me,
the value in the dollar per horsepower, if that is actually such a thing, and affordability is there. If it's not, well, you know what, you go with what you can ride, right? But if it's there, then perfect. There is much better value in doing the 131 upgrade. So that's what I worked out of these numbers. That's really how I see it. And at the end of the day, I keep going on about how happy I am with the motor. It is true. The throttle is a lot more sensitive, which you got to get used to it, but it's okay. It's usable. It's not frightening stuff. It's usable. Turn the throttle and bang, off she goes. Now, a lot of guys out there are running these motors and they're, shut up. A lot of these guys are out there and they're running these motors and they're putting videos up at 140, 150, 160 horsepower, and you can do what you like with these things. You want to change the cam, you want to change your gearing, you want to change all of that sort of stuff. Too technical for my understanding, but you can increase the power. You can do what you like with it. Is it needed is the question, and that's a personal choice. All right? For me, your 114s or 117 stocks are absolutely perfectly fine. If you're going to do an upgrade to a stage 2 on a 117, that's perfectly fine. For me, that was something I wanted to do. This power is hell more than enough, I can tell you right now, for me. I didn't buy a drag bike. If I wanted drag bikes, I'd go out and build myself a drag bike. I wanted something that I can tour with, that is usable around town, that I'm going to enjoy riding, that's not too jerky and jumpy and wanting to rip my head off every time I want to turn the throttle. So yeah. So Brutus, you're done good. Now, as you can see, all the luggage is on the bike. I was due to be on tour this week. I was meant to be taking off on Tuesday. And again, we've had nothing but pouring rain all week long. Absolutely hammering down. Now, it's one thing to be on tour and get caught in the rain. It's a whole other story to be leaving home in the torrential rain. Right up and down the coast again. Queensland's been battered with floods again. Man, we're just copping it here on the east coast of Australia. We really, really are. Amazing. So anyway, the pause button was hit. The bike is saddled up. I'm going to leave it saddled up. It's ready to go. I'm ready to go. As soon as we can get that few clear days, boom, I'm off. And the next video, we're going to talk about the tour. We're going to talk about what the tour is going to look like, where I'm going, you know, and all the exciting stuff to do with that. So stay tuned. We're going to run over that video very, very shortly. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got something out of it. Take care.